We got a $230 million scandal that's brewing at the White House as Donald Trump makes good on his threat to sue the American people for $230 million because he was a criminal who got indicted and was almost convicted, except he won the presidency again. And now, as we reported back in 2023 and 2024, and they haven't gone away, he filed what's called notices of claims, or claims under the Federal Tort Claim Act, to recover from you and me, taxpayers, $230 million as he sues not Merrick Garland, not the FBI at the time. He sues the American people to recover for his attorney's fees. First of all, he already had his attorney's fees paid for, not by you and me, but by MAGA, because he was fundraising the whole time. Every time there was a hearing, every time there was a bad witness in one of his many cases where he was indicted, Donald Trump sent out a fundraising email, a fundraising blast, raised hundreds of millions of dollars. He never came out of pocket. All sorts of funds, all sorts of PACs that he created diverted money away from donors to pay for his legal fees. So what is the loss that he suffered that you and I got to pay $230 million? And wait, I'm not done. At a press conference last week in front of the nation with Kash Patel and Stephen Miller and Pam Bondi and Todd Blanche, he said out loud that settlement of his cases, which have not yet been filed, they still have to be filed. You have 180 days. They should have been filed. They need to be lawsuits, but that the settlement would actually be approved by him and by his deputy attorney general. I guess you know who the deputy attorney general is? Right. It's Todd Blanche, Donald Trump's former and present criminal defense lawyer, who's the number 2 in the Department of Justice. You know who his second is? Stan Woodward. Stan Woodward was a lawyer that represented a couple of defendants in the Mar-a-Lago case alongside Donald Trump. Who's going to approve it? Stan Woodward? Who's going to be the stalking horse and the puppet for Donald Trump? Stan Woodward or Todd Blanche? So let me get this straight. Donald Trump's criminal defense lawyers, who are now on the taxpayer dole and dime, are going to approve a settlement to spend your and my money, $230 million, to pay for a phantom loss that never happened for Donald Trump, who was an indicted criminal, a convicted criminal in New York. I'm Michael Popok. It is Wednesday morning. Wake up, everybody. That's your morning jolt. That's your morning coffee. Let's talk more about it. At the time, Donald Trump filed in 2023 a case about all of the things that happened to him during the Russia investigation, Crossfire Hurricane, all the things that were investigated by John Durham. In 2024, he filed another one against Christopher Wray and Merrick Garland, claiming that he was injured, he was damaged, mainly his attorney's fees. But he didn't suffer that loss. Was he planning to give the $230 million back? Maybe give them back to the people who he gullibly suckered and they paid? Some of them, it's not even gullible. Some of them knew. A lot of them knew, and they wanted to help Donald Trump. Oh, Donald Trump's selling sneakers. Let's help him and buy him. Oh, Donald Trump's selling Bibles out of the back of a van. Let's help him and buy him. Oh, Donald Trump's got a new meme coin and we're going to get crushed and all my life savings is going to go up in flames. Let's help him out and buy him. I'm MAGA. I'm a supporter of Donald Trump. Even when he disclosed all over his fundraising materials that up to 2 to 5 to 10 to 20% was going to be diverted from your dollar, 20 cents on the dollar, we're going to go to pay Donald Trump's attorney's fees. People did it anyway. Got so excited my shirt popped open. So what's this case about? I call them Trumperations. No, we're all against, apparently, on the MAGA side, reparations for those that suffered historically in America, like the African-American black person who was a slave at one time. No, we're against those reparations. But let's line up and pay Donald Trump $230 million. That, incidentally, is the same price as the ballroom, where he's also getting donors. Who approves it? The President of the United States. How do I know that? Because he's the chief legal officer under his executive branch theory. Who does it say approves settlements over $5 million against the Department of Justice? The number 2 in the Department of Justice. Who's that? Todd Blanche. Who's on first? You get it? We're back to the criminal defense lawyers. This is why Donald Trump's top 4 members of the Department of Justice are his 4 former criminal defense lawyers or impeachment lawyers. Pam Bondi, Todd Blanche. It used to be Emil Bovee, but he's now passing away time. He's now twiddling his thumbs on the Third Circuit Court of Appeals. Stan Woodward. and John Sauer, the Solicitor General. Think of the brass ones. Donald Trump's going to steal another $230 million from us. He gets a $400 million plane from Qatar that he's going to steal in plain sight and use for his presidential library, wherever that is. He stole $400 million. I just did the reporting about the presidential library from a small school in Miami called Miami-Dade College by getting the property donated for free from Miami-Dade College over to the state of Florida to the Trump Foundation. He's collecting money from all of these entities like media companies that don't want to stand up and fight like we are on Midas Touch and Legal AF, like ABC, stealing their money for the presidential library. And now he's gonna get a new $230 million. But I'm not taking any. I could make a lot more money in the private sector. He's the only person in America, probably the world, who cannot make more money in the private sector and never did. When we finally draw a line under Donald Trump's fundraising, stealing, grifting, the investments around himself, his family, at the end, it's going to be in the billions of dollars. I got a number in my mind. I'm thinking of a number. It's $5 billion. It's going to be a $5 billion. Donald Trump's going to walk. He never would have made that $5 billion in his own proper, law-abiding, fraud-free business operation. He's got to do it as president. And now add to it $230 million. Where's all those cabinet members? You still think he's sane? You still think he's not depraved? You still think he's not corrupt? If you saw my video up on Legal AF yesterday, I said we're not going to be able to stop that ballroom. I want to stop that ballroom, that 900,000 square feet, $40 million ballroom. I got a better idea for the next president. Turn it into a hall of shame, a museum to Donald Trump's criminality, and put every one of his cabinet members there under a sign that said, "You did not do your patriotic duty and take out this president." That's what we should do. So I'm going to have to cover because Donald Trump keeps talking about it. And whenever he starts talking about something, you know it's going to happen. As Maya Angelou once said, if somebody tells you who they are, believe them. And I certainly believe Donald Trump. I've never been wrong if I just believe exactly what he's going to say. I'll continue to follow it. Thanks for making Legal AF the #1 growing YouTube channel out there, period. It's all because of you. So till my next report, this is Michael. I'm Michael Popok, and I got some big news for our audience. Most of you know me as the co-founder of Midas Touch's Legal AF and the Legal AF YouTube channel, or as a 35-year national trial lawyer. Now, building on what we started together on Legal AF, I've launched a new law firm, the Popok Firm, dedicated to obtaining justice through compassionate and zealous legal representation. At the Popok Firm, we are focused on obtaining justice for those who have been injured or damaged by a life-altering event by securing the highest dollar recoveries. I've been tirelessly fighting for justice for the last 35 years, so my own law firm organically building on my Legal AF work just feels right. And I've handpicked a team of top-tier trial fighters and settlement experts throughout all 50 states known as big auto injury attorneys who have the know-how to beat heartless insurance companies, corporations, government entities, and their attorneys. Big Auto's attorneys working with my firm are rock stars in their respective states and collectively responsible for billions of dollars in recoveries. So if you or a loved one have been on the wrong side of a catastrophic auto, motor vehicle, rideshare, or truck accident, suffered a personal injury, or been the victim of medical malpractice, employment harassment or discrimination, or suffered a violation of your civil and constitutional rights, then contact the Popok Firm today at 1-877-POPOK-AF or by visiting my website at www.thepopokfirm.com and fill out a free case evaluation form. And if we determine that you have a case and you sign with us, we don't get paid unless you do. The Popok Firm, fighting for your justice every step of the way.